Odds are, if you're even the least bit familiar with warrior cats, you probably know about the rule that prohibits medicine cats, their world's version of doctors, from taking up a mate and having kids. Supposedly, having either of the two, or both, jeopardizes a medicine cat's ability to care for their clanmates over the needs of their significant others. At least, according to StarClan. They're kind of like God, sort of. But it's so important to them that it's quite literally the first canonical rule in their little kitty cat Hippocratic oath to be created alongside the role of medicine cat. Yet, the reason that it's so instantly recognizable for so many in the community is that it seems to be the one rule that medicine cats infamously break, leaving us to wonder, why even have this rule anymore to begin with? Well, the super edition we're looking at today, Moth's Vision, aims to answer why these rules exist, along with several other bits of world-defining lore. And I had to look at it for myself, so here's what I thought. Hey everyone, it's Hawks, and welcome back to Hawks Talks. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Moth's Vision, a super edition that was released back in 2015 that takes place directly after the events of Dawn of the Clans. If you haven't seen my reviews on some of the books in the Dawn of the Clans arc, you can check those out in the playlist in the card at the top right of your screen now. There's a bunch of content waiting for you to check out if you're ever interested. So, funnily enough, this book is far from the first to even feature Mothlight. But if you haven't heard of her, basically she's the daughter of the founding leader of WindClan and the first medicine cat of the clans to be chosen by StarClan. In fact, she even named StarClan, though they already existed. Outside of the implications of the Kits rule, the way that StarClan is written in this book is incredibly well done. It manages to accomplish that air of mystery that makes it so iconic in the first arc, yet it still builds off of it in a way that's refreshing and innovative on the concept. StarClan actually feels powerful in this book, like they have genuine control over the world, unlike the StarClan of today, where it's just a bunch of idiots pretending that they know more than they actually do. If you just want my thoughts about the book, I'd rank it at about an A tier. I really liked it, and I found Mothlight to be incredibly relatable. She's one of the most relatable characters they've ever written, in my opinion, and though I definitely don't use relatable sparingly on this channel, Mothlight has quickly become a favorite of mine, especially with her interactions with the other characters and how she's generally written. Like the running gag about her eating a toad. Rocky the Elder literally getting addicted to catnip because Mothlight fed him too much of it, and Mothlight's inner dialogue and exposition sometimes actually playing out in real time in the book are all incredibly charming. I don't think I've laughed like that at a Warriors book since Jayfeather or Tree in like forever. On the other hand, Mothlight's response to loss is actually the most realistic depiction of grief that I've seen in the series so far. Mind you, I've read everything now except for the super editions and novellas that take place just before the first arc, but I thought I'd just mention that. The central theming around moving on with your life and finding a future that you can enjoy was an astounding message, and one I definitely didn't expect to get out of a Warriors book. I was brought to tears many times and was left completely dumbfounded at just how accurate it felt to resonate with these characters on all of these issues. Going into this, I fully expected it to be just another super edition, but I couldn't have been any farther from the truth. Where it misses out on being S tier for me, though, is undoubtedly the way that they chose to handle the medicine cats can't have mates or kits stuff, which is why I titled the video the way that I did. Without delving into much spoilers, this entire thing that's so important that it has to be the first rule to be created for the medicine cats to follow is shoved into the last 30 or so pages of the book. Horribly truncated so much that it almost entirely feels like a post-credits scene for the book instead of a conclusion, and not a very resounding one at that either. Now, I'm not here to necessarily disagree with why Mothlight felt the way that she did, but I think it's such a fairy tale excuse for all of the hardship she's been through for StarClan to base this rule entirely off of her own experience. Mothlight is anything but normal, and that's the reason why she's such a good character. And I can completely understand why she did the thing that she did at the end of the book, because kids aren't for everybody, especially not for someone who doesn't get much support and has so many responsibilities already, like Moth. What she did is entirely up to her, and is well within her rights to choose so. But that doesn't correlate to chastising everyone else who simply just won't have the same experiences. Take a look at Leafpool. Yes, she gave up her kits, and when the clans found out, she had to retire from her position, but when she returned to the medicine den, almost nothing changes about her responsibility to the clan, nor her priorities. Whatever this bias is that they're trying to convince us of was just Mothlight struggling to do everything because she was alone and had to handle all of that by herself. And it's not as if her and Leafpool are the only examples either. What about Mudfur? Did he love his clan any less than he loved Leopardstar, even if he became a medicine cat after she was born? Or what about what happened to Yellowfang? Is it her fault because she chose to have kits at all? No. Playing it up with all of these stories, it's always for a different reason anyway. It just doesn't make sense for this to be a rule if this was all so situational. And it's ridiculous that StarClan continues to care about it so much. If anything, all banning it does is make it happen more often and make it worse for these people that have had to struggle enough as it is. And by all accounts of these medicine cats breaking the rule again and again and again, that much is obvious. Raising kids is hard. It's unbelievably hard. And that's why you should be free to choose whether you have them or not. Medicine cats have done nothing wrong by choosing in spite of these oppressive rules, and that doesn't make them any less talented or stop them from saving the countless lives that they've already rescued. They're people and working members of their society just the same as anyone else, and hinging that right on someone else's beliefs is entirely unjustified. Let them choose. It's their life, not yours, and everyone is different. But that, my friends, will bring us to our spoilers. If you want to read this book for yourself or want to avoid being spoiled, skip to the time on screen now. You have been warned. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I pretty much went through everything I wanted to cover in this book, which is great. So I'm just going to list my responses to certain things that happened and how I felt about them instead of going off on another 10-minute long tangent. When Mothlight and Micah leave the barn, it feels entirely too rushed. Especially for Micah. Like, these cats practically raised him, right? And he's just like, haha, yeah, you've been like a mom to me, Cal. And then just completely dips like 5 seconds later. I don't think that they should have had the Moth show up like that to force Mothlight and him away, you know? Like, yeah, they need to leave, but maybe just have them leave on their own first, so that it doesn't feel like such a disingenuous farewell for what was basically Micah's family, you know? Plus, that was the last time that Micah even got to see Cow or Mouse, so I just would have wrote it way differently if that were me. The tension in that last scene with Windrunner was almost completely gone for me, because even if you have a fraction of knowledge about the general lore of warrior cats, you know that Windrunner isn't going to die here. And that's even without examples like Tigerstar II to back it up either. I know that they didn't end the book on that, and it's not their fault for it being so obvious, but I couldn't help but fall halfway asleep while I was reading it, to be honest. Mothlight's Vision is a great book, but medicine cats shouldn't be forced to live differently than everyone else. Love, like all things in life, is a choice, and so long as this rule exists, nobody can blame the medicine cats for living their lives the way they wanted to. Medicine cats should be able to have kids. They should get to choose if they want to be with someone. And hopefully, in the future, that will finally change. If you like this video, I think you might like checking out some of the stuff up on screen now. Don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe with all post notifications on as well. But yeah, guys, that's gonna have to do it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Hawks, and I'll see you all next time. Later!